What is up, all my middle-aged shredders out there? This is MTB Over 40. Thanks for checking out this video. Today, we're gonna talk about handlebars. All these handlebars. Yes, if you've been following me at all over the last anytime on Instagram or any of my past videos, you know that I deal with hand numbness. I mean, it's a spinal issue for me. So there is a medical thing going on there and I'm dealing with that. But until then, I've been on the hunt searching for the best way to stay comfortable on my bike, especially long rides, and minimizing that hand numbness. I decided to make this video because I'm sure some of you deal with hand numbness too and want to find out, like, well, what's the best solution? Well, let's find out. All right, stay tuned. Let's check out this video and let's get started. All right, as you can see, I've got several handlebars. I've been using these handlebars for about the past year. Not all of them, some of them are pretty recent, but some I've been using for almost a year now. And so what I wanna do is, I'm here at one of my local trails, Jones Mills, and it's got some pretty, there's an outer loop that's got some pretty good chatter, some little chunk and stuff like that. A great place to kind of really test to see what handlebars perform better on that small chatter, because typically that's what causes hand numbness, is that low speed, very fast chatter in your suspension. And obviously suspension, your fork has a lot to do with that. And I've found the RockShox Zeb to be a great fork, and I feel like that minimized a lot, especially coming from an X-Fusion shock. So, but yeah, it's still, still got to deal with certain things. Obviously, grips, positioning, all that matters. We're just talking about handlebars. And so I wanted to take this time, ride that loop, and then each loop I'm going to change out the handlebars and figure out, okay, how does this make me feel? How quickly do my hands numb up on that loop? And just get a feel for it. To ride it over and over and over with different handlebars, I think is a great way to test this. Guess I should mention first what handlebars I got here. So we're gonna be using several. My oldest being the PNW range bars. I've got the SQLAB 30X with a 12-degree back sweep, the SPANK Spike 35 with VIBRACORE, and a new one called the FLEXX bars. And this is a new bar that's come out recently in the last couple years, and anxious to try those too. So those are the four bars we're gonna try, and I'll talk more in depth about each bar as I ride them. Yeah, let's get started. All right, first up is the classic PNW range bar. This is actually the bar I've been riding the most. It's on my LaSalle. Today I'm riding the wire. It's a great feeling bar. It made me switch from 1UP to the PNW. This is the 31.8 clamp. I know that they've come out with the 35 now. Now you have options for the 35 clamp or the 31.8, 30 mil rise, 10-degree back sweep, comes in 780 width, 780 millimeter width, and yeah, lots of different color decals you can buy. This is just all chunk, rock, brute, perfect to get your hands acclimated and numb. And just for FYI, for this test, I'm running all the bars neutral at 0-degree tilt or spin or whatever you want to call it. Not putting them forward or backward at all. I typically run that way anyway, so not much of a difference. But really have enjoyed these bars, especially on my LaSalle, or I run that bike now primarily for enduro stuff. Shuttle, you know, anything we can shuttle, wind rock, anything like that. I love it. It's got nice compliance. Love the 780 width. Whichever bar I choose to keep, I'm definitely going to cut it. Make sure that they're 780 width. I feel like that's my optimal width and feels more comfortable. I was riding 800 on the one-up bars I had a while back, and did not cut them down because I wasn't sure if I'd keep them, and kind of wish I did keep them and cut them down to 780, because once I went to PMW, I could notice a difference. It was a lot more comfortable in the shoulders. Didn't necessarily do anything with the numbness, but definitely the comfortableness rating went up. All right, so a lot of chatter. This is about a 1.5 mile loop, so not terribly long enough to, you know, get some time on it, work out the hands. Drop. What the? Yeah, so far so good. All right, now we're heading back to the return loop. Starting to feel a little fatigue, not much. No numbness. Maybe a wee bit of tingle. Hard to say at this point. All right, starting to definitely feel some tingle. Nothing crazy, but just in my fingers, outer tips, starting to feel it. All right, definitely feeling the numbness starting to grow. Yep, starting to really feel getting into my thumb. It's definitely on all the tips of my fingers now. All right, coming back out. All right, so that's the PNW range. Definitely feel the numbness already. Not fully numb. Can still feel my brakes, handlebars. All right, next up is the SQLAB 30X. These are the 12-degree back sweep, and it's the 40 mil rise. I actually bought these when I first got the bike, the e-bike, thinking I'd want something a little bit more relaxing, not as aggressive. Didn't think I would be riding the e-bike this aggressively. Part of the reason why I got rid of these bars was because I just didn't feel like they gave me the stability on the more aggressive stuff. The 12-degree back sweep is great for cruising and general trail, but on the more aggressive trails, I just felt like it wasn't enough. I felt like I was too far backward. Now, granted, I probably didn't give these bars enough of a chance. I didn't roll them much, didn't try different positioning. So I did like a little bit steeper back sweep versus the PNW. I felt more relaxed, but wanted to try them again, you know. This is an all alloy bar. They do make these in a carbon version. Felt like these were very similar to the PNW as far as any kind of compliance, any dampening. Like the PNWs, they're good width for me. Not sure what the upsweep on these are. I want to say it's 5mm. Might have to put that up in post. All right, definitely feeling some tingle at the ends of the fingers. Yep, really starting to feel it now. Both hands, tips of the fingers. Still feel my brakes. All right, those are the SQLABs. Yeah, even the numbness there at the end. Pretty much like the PMWs, maybe just a tad more, but pretty much the same feeling. All right, let's keep going. On the third bar, this is the SPANK VIBRACORE. We stepped up to a 35mm stem, as this is a 35mm clamp. 40mm rise. Unlike the PNW and the SQLABs, this is a little bit wider bar. Again, I haven't cut it down because I'm not sure what I'm gonna keep. But I've ridden this bar quite a few times. My initial tests were that I felt like the dampening was more rounded. You know, the hits weren't as harsh. These are the VIBRACORE bars, so they have the foam inserts going throughout the bar. Decided to compare these with everything else. Like I said, after getting a few rides in on them, the thing I noticed was just the hits and the you know, bumps weren't as harsh. But again, it's nice to try them out back to back with the other bars on this. The back sweep is, I believe, 8 degrees, so not as much back sweep as the PNWs or the SQLABs. I thought I had tried these bars out back when I had the Abajo And I looked back at some video, and sure enough, I did try these out. But again, it was when I had the X Fusion fork, not realizing that the whole time what I really needed to change back then was the fork, not the handlebars. So far, so good. Still running pretty good. Might be starting to feel a little something. Ooh, ooh. That back end was not gonna stay there. All right, starting to feel some tingling. Hands are really numbing up. This is probably the worst compared to the others. Barely feel the brake. And we're done. Back to the same, still numbing up. All in less than a 2-mile radius. You know, I'm taking the time to relax my hands and arms in between putting the new bars on. So I'm have about a 10 to 15 minute interval in between, so it should be relaxed enough. But we got one more bar to go. Last but not least is the FAAST bars. These bars are, like I said before, a couple of years old. They've been reviewed. I've seen a review on them a few times. I think Lone Ranger did a review on them. He compared these between this and the 1-Up bars. I will admit I've ridden with them a couple times already. So they've felt good. Not sure how much of a difference they are, but I can tell there is a difference. You know, that's kind of being vague. So anyway, some details about these bars. They are 800 mil wide. They got a 25 millimeter rise. And obviously you can see there's something unique about them. They have their own suspension. They got these bushings that you can see in the bars, just like their moto bars they manufacture. But that helps dampen the vibration that you feel. Already I can feel quite the difference. The chatter is not as harsh. You'll also see that I've got this DJI Action 2 camera on the bars. Hoping to get some footage to see if you see any flex at all. That'd be really cool. They come in 2 versions. There's the alloy version, which is what I'm running. They have a carbon version. And still feel good. Haven't felt any like squish or any give. Really hit some chatter here. Hands still feel good. Still nothing, no numbness. Sure, I love this test. Small bumps, little rocks, pebbles, small roots. Ooh. Now you notice that they have the bushings in these. There's actually 4 different bushing strengths, or plants, I guess you'd say, depending on your weight and how aggressive you ride will determine which bushings you use. I'm a heavier rider, tend to ride a little bit more aggressively. So I went with the red, which is the next harshest bushing. So those are the FAAST bars. Made here in the USA. I think they're out of Idaho. Man, they feel great. No numbness, very little fatigue. Hands still feel good. All right, that was fun. Man, that was a good time testing out these bars and figuring out what feels good, what felt, I did the best with my hands. So to summarize, I have to go with the FAAST bars. It's the new kid on the block, very new technology, so I'm sure we'll be seeing more of this kind of innovation. But I have to say that the FAAST bars did the trick. I didn't numb up nearly as fast. I got some tingle near the end of the ride, but I mean, as far as numbness, I didn't really get any of that in the loop that we did with the rest of the bars. Not that any of the other bars are bad. They're all, great bars. Like I said, I started with the PMWs. Those were great. I felt like the VIBRACOREs are really good because it's got the, the foam inserts on them, and so it kind of deadened a little bit the harshness of the bumps. The SQLABs for body positioning, I think, is great. But in the end, it just comes down to what feels good, what's going to suit me best. And I have to say that the FAAST bars really did it for me. These are the 8-degree back sweep. I'd like to try the 12-degree back sweep. So we'll see how that goes. These are not the cheapest bars. I think they sell for like $330. All these bars, just so you know, I bought all these bars. Nobody paid me to do this. This was strictly my own review, so just take that for what it's worth. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Please, if you have any questions about any of these bars and what I experienced, if there's information I left out, hopefully I didn't, but if there is, feel free to ask a question in the comments, and happy to get back to you about it. But hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Again, as always, my midlife shredders, live, learn, and send it. It's never too late to start. Especially on long rides where hand numbness kicks in and there's a chopper. Oh, the noise. The problem with being out in nature is that sometimes you're not out in nature. You've got other issues to deal with. Ones and zeros. Ones and zeros we're burning.